Hi guys, it's me, Just Machine again, and for this video that I will be dedicating to my birthday month, June, in the year 2025, I should be talking about a classic movie, at least to me at least, and it's a pretty big one too, Cars. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. This movie's a classic in the sense that it came out almost 20 years ago, but it's still a relatively recent classic. But it's so good. I love this movie. This movie is so good. Oh, there are some questions I have about the universe that's populated just by anthropomorphic vehicles. Not cars. They got boats, they got planes, they got limbs. They got pretty much everything that you can imagine that is a vehicle has a face and it can target stuff. Much like there's another Disney cartoon named Susie the Blue Coupe, which if I have time to do it this year for my birthday month, I will be covering it eventually. But this is a pretty big one. I love it, even though it did come out in 2006 when I was in college. Of course I entered in movie theaters because I was too much for that, but I have DVD and it's fresh from when it came out. So anyway, now you might be wondering why I'm into this movie so much, being that it's an animated CGI cartoon. Well, people who know me know that I'm very big into cars. I like the Echo One, I like Christine, I like the Jelly, I like how I even like the DeLorean from Back to the Future, the Time Machine. So I'm very into cars and all that stuff. But I'm not into everything to do with cars. I'm not into I like Formula One racing over stock car racing because, like Rowland said, that when you watch stock car racing, you make left turns all day. That's all you do. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. They claim that's the skill of that, making left turns and knowing to accelerate, etc., etc. But I like the Formula One aspect of it. But also, I like the different cars in this movie. And I could say that, oh, there's a Porsche Carrera. Oh, look, there's a stock car. Or, oh, look, there's a lowrider. Or, oh, there's a Mack truck over there. Or, like the New York style truck, with the engine in the front, make it look like a New York State, more or less. So yeah, I'm a very big car person. That and the fact that I have a huge Hot Wheels collection. Not so much the tracks and the spinners and the boosters, but just the kind of Hot Wheels stuff that took a West. And also, in this movie, there's shitload of people that I like for voices. Like, I like the Cable Guy, until I found it's racist and all that. But there's also Owen Wilson with Wow lines, as well as Paul Newman, aka Quinn Luke, which, by the way, they do make reference in this movie to that. Well, I think they also have Bunny Hunt, Tony Shalhoub, Michael Schumacher, Mary Andretti. They have a whole huge selection of voice actors. Hell, they even have Michael Keaton in here as Chick Hicks. And then when I found out it was him, I was like, oh yeah, that is him. Batman is in this movie. And the Vulture is in this movie. And let me tell you, if the voice actor even Ratzenberger, Paul Pat Ratzenberger is awesome in this. Yeah, they even got the cast from Toy Story and A Bug's Life and Monster Inc. do cameo lines for the movie from the movies, and it's actually really funny. You get Tom Hanks to get Tim Allen to get the Rosenberger, of course, and then they get Doug Goodman, Doug Crystal, and a whole bunch of people from the movie Bug Life. And it's a pure delight to watch this movie. Also, for the same matter, they have Kick-Ass Taco Truck, and that they have the opening song "You're Gone," which I'm pretty sure that they made that one for this movie alone, by Sheryl Crow, and they also have they also have the name Life is a Highway, and that's quite literally, as well as they got T-Boom, and my favorite, one of my favorite renditions of Route 66. I want to say that it's done by Depeche Mode, which is awesome. I believe that Route 66 in America got inspiration from the whole mentality of it all got famous by people that go in the Southwest, and the scenery was like chops and in the small town. By the way, this is one of the few movies where they have Cheech Marin in there without Tommy Chung. That's supposed to. But let me tell you something. This movie is really supposed to me. And that's thing number 2 in. It's supposed to put number 3 in there. But something that in the future Disney will get desperate and make a Cars 4. Unless you count all the special features stuff like this. Now, gotta say, before I got into this movie tonight, there was a little bit of an issue with this. Now, I know that this DVD in particular is rated for the US, the playing with DVD players and Xbox and whatnot. But I don't know whether it was the way I loaded it into the Xbox 3, into the Xbox One, which is a very stupid name, by the way, or maybe it was just old or something. It said that the DVD was unreadable. Now I go great pains not to damage my GDs or scratch them or drop on the floor or whatever. If you're doing very careful with picking them off the ground. So give me a flashback of when I tried to watch the movie Ghost in the Shell, 95. So there's something you should be careful of. I don't know what it is. My system is getting kind of old there, but it's still kind of annoying though. So anyway, on with the show. No, I don't know if they got this guy's name in the credits or whatever. Maybe under additional voices or whatever. But I like the Winnebago guy. The guy that's in the middle of the racetrack, surrounded by safety nets and stuff. I don't know why, but I like the RVs in this movie. They don't do anything but just cheer on the crowd a lot, trying to race and stuff. But I like the RV designs in this movie. The way that it's supposed to be portrayed, like the fat boys of character designs, which is like really funny. And of course they have a couple of vans in the minivans, played by Richard Kind, who plays another character from A Bug's Life. And they have it's a very good, delightful movie. Now, one of the questions I have to ask is, how did this work come about? I heard that if this work were really there, it was converted over from a human world into a car world by magical powers and stuff, and like magical energy and whatnot. So that makes more sense than just there being a car world, because everything that related to cars somehow, the geology, even the cloud formations, they're all car related stuff. So they feel during certain parts of the movie they have cameras being hooked up to little mini axles on the scaffolding to the hubcaps of these car characters. So if that's the case, that makes sense. Then how would they be able to make more delicate stuff like lights and all that? Another question I want answered is how do these car characters make other cars? I mean, we've seen them as baby cars, and then when they go old and rust and all that stuff, they have they show them as going through an age cycle. So how do they build them? They did when two cars love each other very much. Do they make their own cars? They share DNA or whatever. Or do they manufacture a baby and they grow up into an older car? Or do they make the car into something at a predetermined age? Let's say 20 years old. So that's a good question. I like the jokes about I like the jokes where they have the bathroom jokes where they have two cars going to the line for the men's room, and for the women's room it's a long line, which I would wonder what is the actual difference between a male car and a female car. And do they do it? Do they have relations like they do in Eight Creed Nights? That's a good question. I'm sure I'll come up with other questions too. But anyway, during this brilliant uh, real gone introduction to Lightning McQueen, the red star car. We show that he's trying to go for the Pistons Cup, like the big giant big deal for the star car races in that time. And finding it that they have the giant star car races, like I don't know, I'm gonna say 50 or 100 cars that race around the track, and you have Mr. King followed by Chick Hicks, and then it's got the newbie. So it's really funny that I don't know what kind of car Chick Hicks is, but I know that Lightning McQueen is supposed to be a new stock car, and Mr. King is a Plymouth Superbird, or the Roadrunner Superbird, which is a very rare car with like a spoiler in the back and with a super long nose cone in the front. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that these cars that race in this thing, they shouldn't be there, because the stock cars should just be made for stock cars, whereas everybody else is just random cars and vehicles. Just I think there's a kind of regulation against that, and it's kind of strange that I'm the one that actually picked up on that. So they have these guys racing, and it's the last finale for this race, and they have Mr. McQueen over there trying to race and trying to become champion, whereas Hicks he did more of a cheer and face dirty, and Mr. McQueen does certain things that are good, that I would consider illegal moves. And there's a difference between dirty moves and illegal moves. Illegal moves are where McQueen bounces off the wall of the track to get around somebody. Also, he uses another person's wheels to bounce up and then take glory pictures way up in the air. So, that's the equivalent of bouncing off of someone's body to get ahead in a race. Okay? That's a legal move. You're not supposed to be able to do it, but there's no harm in it. There's no psychological harm for it. But when you do a dirty move, in this case, when Chick Hicks ran people off the road, ran them against the wall, or does the pit maneuver, which is basically where you got two cars going straight, and then you got one car that not just the other car in the back panel, so that it spins out, therefore making lose time and placement. So anyway, you can still do dirty moves like that, but it's not very sportsmanlike. And later on, he'll cause Mr. King to crash and burn. But anyway, they portray McQueen, which I think is a reference to Steve McQueen, but they show McQueen being like a hotshot, an arrogant prick who doesn't give a shit to anybody. He's a one-man crew, one-man lightning show, all this stuff. So this pisses off everybody involved, even Mr. King over there. This pissed off at him, and he even tried to talk to him, but we don't care. He just wants the spotlight. And so does Hicks. But Hicks, it's like a unredeemable bad guy. And he cheats. He does everything he can to get number one spot. So, McQueen ends up racing, and he gets so enamored with himself that he doesn't believe that he needs to be pitted into the pit area. So he doesn't get new tires, where everybody else gets tires, and he makes a whole lap around them. And he's about to win it, and he got one more turn to go, and then he blows out both big tires because he didn't change them out because he was so stubborn and so prideful. So the other two people, Hicks and King, try to catch up with him, and they almost win. And it's funny because they portray Mr. McQueen as trying to desperately reach the finish line first, even though he was way trying all of that. They're trying everything possible to get forward, he was trying inches forward. In the end, he sticks out his tongue and all that. So that actually reminds me when I'm playing video games. Whenever I make one mistake after leading the whole match or race, it reminds me to try and desperately claw my way into first place after that one mistake, or getting hit with a blue shell. Whatever. So, anyway, it's kind of funny that all three of them have a nice, 3-way tie, even though McQueen should have won that. And, it's funny that he ends up, having a big fan base and stuff, and twins, me and Tia, whenever they flash their headlights, it's kind of like they flash their, little boobies at him, even though they are technically underage, and they're also Japanese Miatas, which, yay for him, Japanese twins are awesome. So anyway, they have, let me see, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, the RV guy did in the middle, which I have no idea how they were able to get past security and stuff. I just love the way they have the security cars that are being like SUVs, like repetitive cars. It's just so funny to me. So adorable. So, let's see, it's funny that he keeps needing to take as being thunder. So, why thunder? Because thunder always comes after lightning, and then he takes chugging again. It's just very odd that even though he comes in second place, and he likes it and he doesn't like it and stuff, he keeps the name keeps names on there. And even he does like a stupid, jigger, really stupid thing with plus lightning. So anyway, then we go into, then they decide that because the first 3 weeks high into this thing, that they have to have a winner to third place. They have to do the event in 3 or 4 days, maybe a week's time in somewhere else in California, which I just want to have a tiebreaker race, but no, that's fine. You have to call a whole big crowd for it, and that's kind of awkward. I don't know why I can't do it here again. Anyway, yeah, now he goes into his sponsorship tent, even though he doesn't want to, which Mac is truck says to him that he gotta do it because they give him a big break and stuff. But here's the thing, this is supposed to be like a low budget type sponsor. Yeah. And it's supposed to help out like older cars, less attractive cars, Dodges, all that, vans, and rust buckets. How were they able to afford to pay for sponsorship on Lightning McQueen anyway? They were so desperate for attention and stuff. And number 2, I remember, let me take out here, right here, behind the tire, there are stickers for more brands than just Rusty. And they make a comment about that in the movie. So, he really doesn't want to do this. He really doesn't want to go near the unincorporated vehicles, the rust buckets and stuff. Now, I think that even though this is maybe way before Donald Trump became popular in the office and stuff, this actually reminded him, you always say that, you always that everything revolves around politics, but everything relates to Trump, whatever. But I could definitely make an argument that this is Trump's attitude toward his base. That, I don't care about people. I don't want to be seen with ugly, unattractive people. Fat people alive behind me on stage. I don't want to be around with them. I don't want to be associated with them. I only want to be around the beautiful people. The people who are perfect candidates. And yeah, besides Trump doing that, as we've seen in the past and recently too, I could make the argument that also goes for some celebrities that are very I'm not gonna say heartless, but very demeaning and very superficial, in that they want to hang out with certain people, people who are attractive, people who are tall, people who are young, people who are pretty and beautiful and fertile and all that other stuff too. So I could definitely see that about all politicians, as well as some suck up celebrities and some less undesirable people as well. About that. So anyway, they do the rusty thing and they say that well, the 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 people take Hicks and the king say to Miss McQueen here that the last one to go, the first one to get to California and the big race, for the big race, they can talk with Donico, the big champions, the big guy for the champions, also themselves. They'll be able to talk to them, make deals with them, and buddy up with them and all that. So there's like an incentive for the Queen and Hicks to go over there first. Beat each other out. Whereas the king is already sound with them. He's already almost retired. You only got one more race in him and he's done so. So it's a competition between just Hicks and McLean. So so he wanted Russia to be the first one. Now I should tell you that Gunco is also a gas station that's known for this movie and I think a few other Pixar movies like if it's in Toy Story, and some others too, I'm sure. So they do that, and then he tells Mac we're going straight through California. Which, let me just say that this movie makes reference to the South, where NASCAR is popular, as well as California, Route 66, my other locations in America, unless this college university is set in America. So then Mac goes across the country and he's got to deliver McQueen to the place in California, the racer in California. And then this is also a very good warning for people not to do that, not to go full throttle down the road. You know, driving all day and all night. Because driving drowsy is always a bad thing to do. As my Uncle Darius turned to very good dental Florida in one day from New York City, which is a very bad thing, you know. When my parents used to drive me down to Florida, we used to do it in 2 days. And that was pretty much a rush job. I can't hardly imagine doing it in 1 day. That was until we went to McKinter's, I think at the border of South Carolina. 1 year I had like an experimental macaroni salad, and let me tell you, I had to go to the bathroom there in Georgia a regular amount of times, every 2 hours. I think to use the bathroom. It was not pleasant. I'll tell you that, but it wasn't very pleasant. But in any case, Mac said to McQueen, you know, can we please stop? I'm tired. I see all the people over there resting and all that. So he says, no, you keep going forward. I'll stay up with you. So, in the creature comfort of his chiller, it's like you fall asleep in a second. Meanwhile, Mag's got to suffer alone, and I like the way you have him have fun in the design, making faces and stuff in a big tanker truck behind, but in front of him, like we do. Much it mirrors when McQueen did it in his last race in the mirror camera of some other car in front of him. So anyway, they have meanwhile, I like when he was making the googly faces at the mirror when someone next to him was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So anyway, they have Mac driving along and driving and stuff, and they make other googly faces whenever he tried to go to sleep, wake up and stuff, which is a big no-no. So then you see a bunch of hot rodders and tuner cars, and I wish to God that they would have someone voiced by Vin Diesel doing that, talking about family and such. That would have been the shit, or someone else. Maybe Paul Walker would be happy to do it for that, because that was legitimately 5 years after the Fast and the Furious movie came out. So that would have been some funny shit that they did that. So anyway, they said that Mac is another, and I'm assuming that's a colloquial term for a driver, a big rig, falls asleep in it when they're driving, and they're playing pranks on him. Then the crank up the volume on their radio or that music box at and they're playing like elevating music to put them to sleep altogether. So then they end up playing with him, making him go side to side on the road and all that. So then they also have well, that happens. He ends up going on to the bumpers on the side of the road. Why does it crash over the edge of the bridge? I have no idea why they don't do it. Maybe it's to keep it a G rating. Maybe it's not a good idea to show how cars actually die in it. So when he does that, you see everything in the trailer going crazy and falling off onto various buttons in the trailer. What button that he releases the trailer on the it opens up the trailer for when we get out, fall out. So then one of the guys named in that ride has a cold, which I really want to know how an anthropomorphic car can get sick and get cold from it. So anyway, when he sneezes, it's hilarious because he blows flames, big flames out of his side pipes, which is a real cool idea for a real cool design. I mean, they went all for this movie with the designs. So it's not right with him up. And then in the meantime, I get Joe, get McQueen out of the back of the trailer. And I was wondering as a kid how Mac was able to go straight, and McQueen so I'll go back and I'll be able to catch up with him. You know, he went, he goes at full speed towards Mac, and then he catches up with someone that looks like Mac, gets off the highway, follows him, and then tries to beat the train, which reminded me of Susie the Blue Coupe again. Especially when the trolley and the stopper says, "Stop!" and it crashes. But McQueen doesn't crash into the diesel train. But anyway, the reason why because when he ends up getting dumped out of the trailer, he goes in the opposite direction as Mac does for the wall, and then he gets off on some sideway on the highway. That's how he gets lost, and there's no way he can find his way back easily. So he flows into Radiator Springs, and through some very interesting hijinks, he destroyed the town using an old Stanley statue, which was the old Tin Lizzy's old husband. Now, I think Tin Lizzy is the nickname for the old Monte cars that was 400 years old. As well as the Stanley steamer that was referenced in the old car. Maybe the second car ever made, whatever the case was. Anyway, it's old. So, it gets destroyed. The roadway gets destroyed in the main town of Radiator Springs. Now, it's funny that would happen because, McQueen definitely destroys it, but he gets swept up in barbed wire, and it hurts him. So now, how can something hurt an indestructible vehicle like that? You know. Also, why do Levi Cacti hurt him? And why does anything hurt him when it falls on top of him? So anyway, he destroys each of the person, each of the inhabitants, like businesses, and tries to remove his paint job, which by the way is weird that happened because Ramon actually changed the color of his paint, like almost imagine the Kardashians change their shoes. For the police color with purple, then red, and then green. Oh no, and I'll do with the yellow somewhere in it too. Yes. So anyway, they have him being he gets put on trial for this thing, for destroying the town. Yeah, regular, and even killing the red flowers, which I believe that red is supposed to be like a old 50s fire truck. And think of all these old cars. It really is something special to me. So anyway, they have Philip played by George Collin. They have a cousin played by Paul Newman. And then Tomato played by Leonard Kelly. Luigi played by Trench Loop. And they have Guido. I don't know who Guido's played by, but anyway, Luigi is a car that's based on I forgot the name of the car exactly, but it's called it was in the game Top Gear Daredevil. I don't know anything about the name. I think it was a prosciutto. The French car. And the Hornet. The Hudson Hornet was a race car back then. So anyway, he charged with using old Bessie to repair the road in his old tar machine later. So he does it in a rush job to try to escape the town. And then he gets two minivans. One's by a character that's played by Richard Kind. Now, it's very kind of funny because you two get lost, even though the guys got GPS in the car itself. So I happen to know the GPS don't work out so hot. Especially because when you set the GPS, it tends to bring you on dirt roads, bad roads, or whatever the case is, on an effort to get to a destination in the fastest possible, not necessarily the safest route. So that could be a reference to that. Plus, I think that in 2006, GPS was still relatively new, so there was still a few bugs to work out. But I like the way that you have the dynamic of the man not wanting to ask directions, meanwhile the woman did. And by the way, when it comes to road trips and all that, my mother and father used to do all the navigation and stuff. And my mother would always try to read the map, but for everything that she did that was good, she was a good cook, a good wife, a good mother. She did good, everything good with her. But to be honest with you, the woman could not read a map for anything. She could not read a map for Jack. It's not the only negative thing that's good about a person, but she couldn't read a map for Jack. I could read a map better. Like my dad could read a map better, but she no. You couldn't read a map whatsoever. She would always get lost. So I had to just look at the map. So in any case, they get lost. And they actually do help. They actually do see all the people begging and pleading with them to give them business and tell their friends about them. And then when they get to McQueen, they're like, please help me. And I know we begging to state, please help me, get me out of this hillbilly hell. Now, this is all very stupid and stuff, but I do know that with small towns that are like off the side of the major highway and stuff, this is true that they're dying for business. They're dying for people to help them out. They might not have like a rehearsed thing like doing cars, but they do have some. They do it big for business. They do have people that they want to help them out and all that. So there are things that happen. So my town, the town next to mine, if you were able to take a time machine back to say 50 years ago, let's say, or 4 years ago, it would look exactly the same. Mongreville has not changed one bit. Life has not changed one bit, which is sadly true for many cities. And they're begging for business. They're pleading with it for business, all that. So that I just had the truth. And now, Sally Carrera, the portion in the movie that was a little bit of a tramp step on her butt on the lower bumper area. She believes that McQueen can actually bring some celebrity star power to this little town, so she has the dog make him appear at the street, whereas Doug just wants him out of there. Doug Hudson just wants him out of there. So he goes to Bessie. He does like a half-assed speed job to try to fix it, the road. Even when he paves the road, it's all bumpy and stuff. But I will argue that there's another problem with the movie at this point. And then being that stock cars are meant for racing, and that's about it. But when it comes to actually pulling an object, like a big heavy tolling machine, it would break the engine, it would make something seize or something or other. So to have McQueen pull this giant thing day in and day out, and then having to redo it again and plow rip up the highway, they just made the street. It would ruin the machine, the car, the engine. So yeah. So it doesn't make any sense. So then he ends up having to redo it again. But this time, Doug made him an offer if he can be in the race on the oval track. Then he can go free. But if Doug wins, he ends up having to rebuild the road again, which he takes it. Now it's so funny because Tomato is not the smallest ball but is ball in the pack. So he undoes his boot from his lock on his system, and then the second that happens, he takes off like a bad hell. But the residents of the town, law enforcement, and the little car takes the empties out the gas tank of Mr. McQueen, so that it can only go a certain distance before it goes out of the gas. Now this is another question. Does the light force on the cars, is that tied to gasoline, or when he ran out of gas, did he just not move and be sentient at the same time? Kind of like what happened to McQueen. He just stays still, or he's still conscious. What does it take to kill someone like that? I mean, we've seen that when the king gets in an accident later, like pretty damaged. Same with the Hornet, also very damaged. So, while he's in interment for this, he's supposed to gain trust and the liking for some of his other the other residents of the town to me into like captivity, which and I think that why the fuck would they even need cows or cows? The truckers are basically cows that do a fart joke. And then we got Frank. My God, I love Frank. Frank is awesome in this. Frank is like an angry bull that chases after McQueen and Major. But he's a combine harvester, and boy is he pissed off. He's so pissed off that when McQueen dreams of him, he dreams that he's in it's on the racetrack with the other two with King and Hicks. And it's funny because King dives out of the way and Hicks gets destroyed by the combine harvester. And then when he wins, like he wins the World Cup, like he wins the Cup, and he got wreath around his neck too. It's real funny because two girls kiss him, so it's real kind of funny, and he rolls like a real bull does. So I love me some Frank. And then they had the thing with Tomato, the reverse driving around the Conan, which is Sully's place. Now I like to think that the whole thing about driving Conan resembles a Native American type tourist trap in which the motel rooms are designed to be like teepees. You also got Sarge's surplus store, army surplus store, which is really freaking awesome. And then you got film war, the hippie Volkswagen man of the group, and some organic fuel. And because he took me to Sarge one time to pull opposites, and Sarge said to him, he said, the 60s one kind of way. And he said, yeah man, the whole world's a conspiracy. Also, I should point out that you do have all Schwarzenegger cameo in this. He is a big Hummer car, and he does like he does the cameo of the governor of California. Now it's funny because he's supposed to be real macho in this. Yeah, get up several Hummers in his garage, which I love the Hummer. Yeah, I'm an unabashed Hummer fan. Don't read too much into that, but that will be counted later on when the Sarge has to be a drill sergeant for feminine SUVs and not even a Hummer. I want to go in the beach trainer boot camp. And it's so funny because SUVs, big trucks, the Hummer, Humvee and all that, they were meant to go off-road. They were meant to be tough. Not this Chrissy, Chrissy, um, you know, big Meg wheels, this Chrissy, I don't want to get dirty. I want to do racing. I want to get dirty. I'm there to be pretty and stuff like that. But it's always like, nope. Give me 20 laps in the dirt. And eventually, McQueen does appreciate all the slowness of the town, the slowness of the countryside. He doesn't like all hustle and bustle anymore. Oh, he still loves it, but he doesn't love it as much. He gets more respect. And yes, the Hornet does just meet McQueen in the race. And I like the way he's like, I'm gonna go slow, and then McQueen goes fast and raise bank turn. That was fine. Then when it came to the actual turn, he ended up being a mouthful of cacti. And then Major ends up hooking up with Twitch. It has rear bumper. Now, I don't know anything about the physical nature of the cars and the universe and stuff, but when Tamir puts his hook into the rear bumper, it'll come up and stuff. It's almost like the hook violates McQueen. All the time they does it, so it's like if something else happened to him and he doesn't like it. It's weird. I want to jump the gun and say something I shouldn't say, but it looks like it violates his personal freedom and stuff. Anyway, he had to go repeat the road and then he does so. And since when that all these people of various experience love the road that McQueen does for them. I mean, absolutely love it. To the point Ramon the lowrider has to get little down low and start hugging the road, quite literally, and then he makes plus on it by dragging his rear bumper on it. To where I say, you're gonna ruin the road in your car by doing that. And to me, it does the same thing. It makes a hollow screeching noise, and many more sparks come out. But anyway, later on, Queen finds out that before he has to leave, that Doc Hudson is actually a Hudson Hornet. And I like the way McQueen's mouth moves when he describes the Hudson Hornet and how good he was himself. But Doc Hudson don't give a crap about that anymore because the crowd turned on him right when he got in an accident and was crippled for life pretty much and mentally scarred. So he doesn't want to go for the fame and fortune anymore, like McQueen tried to do. Which is okay, fair enough. But he always compared it to empty cups. Meanwhile, McQueen still wants the empty cup for himself. So Will said that you can go now. I don't want to talk to you anymore. So eventually he has a relationship with Miss Carrera, Sully Carrera, and they start bonding and stuff. And then he asks her what happened to the place, and to be booming and all that. So he told them that because there was an interstate that was built there, it would bypass the small towns and move on to the bigger, better cities and stuff. Which is separate to many places. Many of the Americana places have been overlooked because of their highway systems, like Route 66 and like I-95 and whatnot. And then McQueen decided to do everything right by promoting all the businesses and trying to help them out, all that. And he even tried to get Luigi to give new football tires, which is nice. Tried to get them. Tried to improve Red Life tried to get bumper stickers from the Curio by Tin Lizzy, and just in general increased his mood on the town. Where before you just say it was ugly, was bumfuck hell, very stupid looking, very ugly looking, like the road you did at first, and tried to do the reverse driving to meet her did, he likes mirrors. Because he's a race car, he doesn't need review mirrors for that. Now, I want to point out that there's a difference between front driving and backward driving, because whenever I drive with my scooter, I can drive regularly front way, no problem whatsoever. But when I drive in reverse, it's a little bit harder, a little bit more challenging. But apparently in this movie and many other movies, reverse driving is always easy by, and you can drive fast the same way. You can drive with that in the first manner. So you have you could visit Luigi to give him fresh tires, white wall tires, even though as a stock car, Lightning McQueen should only be using the tires and wheels that are given, for professional track racing. But he just gets white wall tires to help out Luigi. And they also do they have Guido do like a pit crew type thing. And he's very, very good at it too. So he helps flow with her neon signs, and he has them do it. Yeah, he helps rebuild the town pretty much. And he has he tries to some with organic fuel, and then he helps Todd by looking at some of his unreachable stuff. I don't know if he actually purchases it, but he increases the mood by increasing the interest in that stuff. With night vision goggles and with big ass military weaponry. Yeah, I find that really interesting if they could have like a war with just car vehicles. That'd be kind of cool. And from remote there, using appendage on his hubcap to spray paint with green over his entire sponsorships and whatnot, which it kind of defeats the purpose of being a stock car racer, in my opinion at least. And they have at the end of all this, it looks less like a stock car and more like an old 1957 Corvette, which is really awesome. He impressed Sully with it. And they do the thing when they do that. They have to dance, but instead of that, they do drive. And I like the way in the beginning of the relationship, when she takes him for a drive, and you see the real hotel is like it's surrounded by little flying bugs, a la Volkswagen Beetle. That's really cute. But then it's a bunch of people flocking toward McQueen, and it turns the paparazzo. So then, like, we found McQueen. Okay, everybody get rid of these customers and stuff. So then the crowd actually dissipates when they get McQueen back. And they find out Doc Hudson, who McQueen tried to convince to go with him, and then they tried to convince everybody that Hudson was actually the famous Hudson Hornet for gotten for a cripple for life. So then it show we got Max saying I'm sorry for letting you go away all this, to which McQueen was delighted to be. I'm saying I have a new friend, and we have to get back to the racetrack over there, go take care of Denico and all that. But it's like, okay, and he's like shepherded into the car thing. So before he left, when Doc was racing with him and showing him the slow lane and stuff, had to turn right when you go left. So all the time he didn't know what it meant, but it was like drifting on the dirt. You gotta slow yourself down and do something specific with the driving and all that. So where he said, no, okay, I'll do this. So that comes in handy later on when he did the big race. Even though in the beginning he couldn't do it through that big race. Not with Doc Hudson, but when he did the race in the beginning of the movie. It's very, I wonder what the gift show crowd Elvis like vans I wanted to sit from. But anyway, they have cut when the big dinosaur race in the end between the 30 characters. I think that they have to do 200 laps to make it love triangle all day. So they do that, and now McQueen's like more like densified, need more compassion toward the other members of his crew and stuff. So yeah, Mac beat the crew chief, and when he was racing around, they have Doc Hudson come by and be his crew chief, which is really sweet because Paul Newman died like 2 years after the movie came out. It's really kind of like his last role. And they also have in the credits they have the voice actor for Hamlet from Bugs Life. He passed away too. So this movie was in dedication to that guy. So anyway, they have him be the crew chief, and the other people being his crew members, and she was on him. And even told Major can't name out there because he was unable to get a chance to say goodbye to McQueen, his best friend, even though he known him for like, 2 days at that point. But anyway, it's also weird that he wanted to get a helicopter ride in one of the helicopters. Yeah, sure. So, anyway, he ends up becoming more humble by saying that full town. And to the point that Luigi and Guido end up being his pit crew, and the other pit crew members are like, it's this bad thing they're called tires. And then Guido was like getting all riled up and stuff because I believe that he was like a old Italian style forklift. And all the time he's all ready and stuff to help out the guy McQueen. And like, pits up. And he's like, no pit stop now. Don't worry, you'll have your time to shine. I see him bouncing around and stuff. And then when he gets them all ready and he goes in to be pitted in there for new tires, which was the lesson he learned from the last time. He's not the only guy in the show. And then he made his group quit on him because it's arrogant prick. Luigi just takes all 4 tires, chucks them in the air. Then as they land, they all land down. And he does it. He puts it bing, 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 bing. And then he's out to leave him. And then he's like, the gun. And with a tactical wake up the other pit top in the hole to where even the big group of chicks of the grill mustaches like Hicks does. They all got the mustaches. Which I found very weird because you think that would you think that the grill would be permanent on their faces, but I guess not. So they'll fall down. So you can see here how he ends up. No, I've never been 100% on the procedure and the police car in the front. But it was actually very nice that they have that in there. And you see him getting in front of the car and make him time, make him laugh, and then right before the king is about to go into the last street, she takes not into McQueen, making it off road, and then did the famous the famous thing from the first Dark House of Teachers. And then, which is also lost and learned from the first race in the first part of the movie. So, then he says, not again, old man, you're going down. Then he shoots a Pittman over on the king himself, on the royal king himself, knocks him out, and he gets flung into almost oblivion. and then wins out. And Steve's Lightning sees this. And he's like, oh no. And he stops right before the finish line. And Chick runs past them all. And even though he won, he's very unsportsmanlike for cheating like that and doing the pit maneuver and being just a disgusting freak. Anyway, he ends up, McQueen stops, goes back, and pushes the king over the finish line. Because he figures that the king continues to finish his last race. Unlike, he got treated a lot better than Hudson did. Doc Hudson did at first. So everyone over there is crying. Even when the big guy is crying, when the big RB guy is crying, yeah, because it just says it's sort of sportsmanship for Mr. McQueen. When she won the competition, nobody liked it. Nobody liked it because of its unsportsmanlike behavior. And they just threw the trophy at him, and then shot fireworks at him rather than up in the air, and everyone was booing him and cheering him on. And then, but in the end, McQueen got more respect, more influence. He even gave Tomato his helicopter ride. And he even gave Rusty, he decided to stay with Rusty. He was the spokesman for him all the time. He became more humble and more respectful. They give him a chance. Much like the king, much like Danko and everybody else therein. Terminator and all the other crewmates and his new friends. They all became friends. And they were also watching a Toy Story movie. They were also watching other Pixar movies that came out in that point that were clarified. Like what I mean was that when they covered Toy Story, they were Woody and Buzz Lightyear were actual Woody and the space car. And then they did that. And the big voice by John Ratzenberger or Matt Gaines. That guy's an awesome voice actor. In the next movie was Bug's Life. It was Monsters Inc. And you see solely as being a monster truck. And Mike was little, he be kind of compact, which was really funny. And then they had John Ratzenberger played the Abominable Snowplow, which was actually funny. Was even more funny was it when Mac was saying, oh boy, that guy deserves an Oscar. He's an awesome actor. I like him. When they to cut to the bug's life. And was a little bug and stuff in it. When he got the PT Flea, which is also voiced by Ratzenberger, it was like, and I don't get it. It doesn't really be the same actor for different roles. I hate this. I hate the actor. He's a bum. It's nice to know that they have some humor, but we have different humor styles in themselves. So anyway, of course they had the RIP message for that voice there. So I like the way they have the wrote Michael Schumacher with his Ferrari actually talking to Luigi and Guido and wearing tires for them. And then first Luigi faints and then he talks to Guido in Italian, which I have to have my father translate once for me. And he faints afterwards too because he wasn't tired, I guess. And that's really real funny. You know, Mary Andre doing it too. They have I think they have and just from NASCAR doing it too. I mean, really nice. They really. And then they really want to hug out on the whole voice cast for this movie. I love cars. But I would like to see a movie where they have 15 in this world. That would be awesome. Maybe Bender or the car. And I just love this movie. I could have sworn that they had Flo being played by Queen Latifah, but no, it was somebody else. I don't know her name offhand, but they are. She is married to Ramon in this movie, so I don't know how that would work out where Carla married to each other. And then they have Tin Lizzy being married to Stanley is dead. So yeah, that would. I don't know what the requirements are to make someone dead in this world. I also like the running joke of when Red gets angry or upset, he ends up running away and then knocking over a tower of his tires, which is kind of funny. And flowers too. And yeah, I just like this movie. It's very, very nice. I like that everyone in the crowd was cheering him on. Especially at the end when he helped out the king. Kind of like some moment, even trucks in the truck stop were rooting him on and stuff like that. So yeah, this is a good movie about like taking easy flow, not working involved to the end of time, and just it also tells you to drive drowsy. It's good that at the end of the show they have the thing with the candy ass SUVs and Hummers in boot camp, and then they had they had the four hot riders being chased down with a police officer and the sheriff in town, running a car too, and they were Bessie too. That was really fun. And let's see what else they had Sully and Button get together. And I'm thinking, well, they had God be restored to his former glory as a legendary race car. And then he even played with McQueen, saying, you know, I didn't teach you all my tricks. And he dives off the edge of the cliff, the cacti, and he runs away, and then he runs back to win the race with McQueen. Yeah, which is a very good movie. And thank you for watching my review of Cars for my birthday month of June in 2025. I give this movie a happy face because it was very, very good. It was very comical. It shows you not to drive while drowsy. It shows you how to calm down, not be an arrogant prick all the time. And it was actually pretty good that it showed cars, trains, and trucks, and planes, and live on boats in this anthropomorphized vehicles. Even though the talking doesn't make much sense. Anyway, if you like what you see here and you want to see more of my videos, here would like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also contact me for future information on stuff on future videos by calling or texting me at 631-707-3707, or you can follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer, at PNelsonPro. Also, you can get my email address at jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, I salute all you Disney fans out there, all you Pixar fans out there, all you animated fans out there. And I just like the way they were able to tell us the same kind of stereotype story with characters in a new way. In a way that would appeal to people like me that like movie cars and cars in general. And we have very large selection of voice actors. Yeah, I also like the way they will often give a police escort to McQueen by the sheriff. So yeah, it was a cool movie. Peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video. All you girls and guys in Interland. Ciao, ciao. See you in the next one, guys. Sayonara. Aloha.